Hey y'all, so welcome to my channel again, Janae's World. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Go ahead. So we're gonna get off into it. So today is working Wednesday, so you know what that means. We're doing tutorials today. So today I have a client, so she has a wig installed, but we're about to reinstall an old wig, but we're still gonna go through the steps the same. So today we're doing a wig install. So meet me in my car. So right now I'm trying to make it to my salon so that I can do you guys tutorial. It's kind of traffic. It's kind of cold, but when I get to start working, I get a little bit hot. So got a dress on. And like I'm super excited to like show y'all the tutorial how I work in my salon. I'm gonna show y'all my salon. And yeah, like meet me at the salon. I'll be there in a sec.
1 hour later.
So hey y'all. Okay, so this is her wig. So her wig was previously installed by someone that I do not know who, but pretty much she didn't bleach the knots, so we're bleaching the knots, and then her color was kind of ashy, so we recolored it. So I plucked it. These are the tools, well, some of the tools that I'm gonna use. So first thing first, what y'all want to do is make sure you rubbing alcohol at the top of her forehead and her edges. So y'all want to make sure like alcohol is the first thing you do. Now some people use skin protection. I use alcohol because I need to make sure it's guaranteed. So next thing you know, I use Got To Be Glue holding spray. So y'all, this is my favorite child. This is my favorite holding spray. Like, I don't care what goes on. I'm going to use some Got To Be Glue hairspray. Child, that holding spray don't, it don't play. But anyway, so I'm blow drying it, making sure that it sticks to her head. We want to dry whatever is wet, we want to dry, child. We want it dry. So we are putting that cap on. So when you put the cap on, you just want to make sure that all the hair, her edges is pushed back before the cap come on, because you don't want the edges to come forward with the cap, and you want to like know how her hairline is. So right now what I'm doing is cutting off her ears, like cutting her ears, not cutting off her ears, child, she couldn't even hear me then. Cutting the lace, cutting the cap, See, I didn't, child, I'm tired, but cutting the cap. Make sure her ears is out. So this kind of like is a good thing to do. Make sure that you guys do this technique. It's kind of like it keeps it down. It keeps the cap down in order. And what we want to do is hold and spray that cap on. Kind of like how we did the edges. We want to hold and spray the cap down too. So that's what we're doing here. We hold and spray that cap down. I'm in the way and stuff, but we hold and spray that cap down, so we just making sure that everything is hold and spray, and then we're gonna blow dry it. We're gonna blow dry. You either can blow dry, you can just like be whatever about it, maybe do something else while you waiting for it to dry, but I blow dry it down. So I kind of like just blow dry it down to like get tacky, and then I kind of like let it do what it do. I don't know what I was looking at. But right now, what I'm doing is brushing out that edges of that wig. Because remember, the wig was installed by somebody else. It's a new wig. It just got to start 2 weeks ago. So we're just brushing them edges that she cut. We're brushing it out, and yeah, we getting in tune with that. We brushing them edges out, child. We brushing all the edges out. So whatever you do, make sure that you use wax on them edges, and then you press out the edges. So that's what we're gonna learn today. Whatever you wax, you press. So what that do is that gets your edges in the flow that you want it. So you just put wax on it. So it's a wax stick. You get it from anywhere. Amazon, beauty supply store, down the street from your mama's house. You get it from anywhere. It doesn't matter what label it is. Just make sure that it say wax stick on it. Then this Pressicone is from my homegirl, Two Side Tiny, but you get your Pressicone from anywhere. You get it from my homegirl, but you can also get it from Amazon, yard sales, beauty supply store, stuff like that. So we're gonna get into it. So I gave her wig, like, girl, hold this while I cut this child, what is this? A stocking cap. While I cut the stocking cap, girl. I'm tired. So this is very important. So make sure that you cut that stocking cap right in front of her hairline. Do not cut it behind her hairline. Do not cut it on her hairline. Cut it directly in front of her hairline. So if you got to get real close to that lace and real close in her face to cut that, cut that cap. I don't know why I keep calling it a lace. Cut that cap correctly. That's what you're going to need to do. Because you need to make sure that all her edges is inside that cap. Whoops, I didn't throw it in the trash, so I had to throw it in the trash out. So, yeah, make sure that you're cutting it right there. Like, take your time. If you need a little time, don't rush this process. This process is important. It's real, real bad if you cut it behind and your hair is showing. Because then you're going to have to put glue on that hair, and we don't want that. We want you to have edges out this wig, y'all. So I just pretty much cut it. So I don't know if y'all can see, which y'all should see that it's right in front of her hairline. Like, I'm just making sure that the rest of the stocking cap that was around her ear is cut out her ear. And yeah, so it was nicely put on. So this is the tint I'm using. So I'm using even tint. So her complexion was kind of like between two of the tints. So I used medium brown, and I used light warm brown. So I used both. So the first thing I sprayed was the light warm brown. Then I sprayed the medium brown. Kind of like to blend in her complexion, because it kind of looked like two complexions in one. So Eden is the brand. You could get that from anywhere, any beauty supply store, not anywhere, any beauty supply store. They should have all shades at any beauty supply store. So make sure that you get it. So this is how it look, y'all. So next you want to, after you spray it on her cap, you want to spray it on her wig. But make sure y'all spray it on her cap first so you can see how it look, if it's her complexion or not. Then you want to spray it on the lace, because we need it to match. We need that lace to match that skin now. So I'm just doing it again, doing both the medium brown and also the light warm brown. And then you want to blow dry it on that lace. It's a little wet. It get a little wet, so you want to just blow dry it to make sure that you getting everything dry. Cause you don't want it to, like, when you doing your baby hair or something, you don't want the color of the lace to be on there. I don't know what we was looking at. But yeah, just make sure that you get that lace super duper dry. So we just put in that glue. So I use boho. And I put like 2, 3 layers on there and make sure that it's super dry. So y'all, when y'all putting that glue on that cap, you want it to be thick. Not thick on the cap, but thick as in a lot from the cap. You want it to be paste from the front of the hairline where the cap is, in front of the cap, and you want it to be on the cap also. Like you want it to be on there because you need that frontal to stick and be slayed and stay long. So you want to make sure it's at the end and kind of like on the cap too. So what we doing is pasting it. So you want to make sure this part you doing it correct. Like you want to make sure that this lace is being placed right where you put that glue. And you want to use the comb to flatten it out. Make sure that the glue is melting in. So you just want to, you see how I'm just pulling it and I'm just making sure like the baby hair do not get on that glue because that's a disaster. And then you just use the comb and you just like push it through. Like you just want it to melt. So you just want to use the comb to like flatten it out, and you want to keep using the comb. Like you just want to make sure. Now sometimes when you like putting this lace on, you going to see like in the front of the lace, you're going to see like little places that you might have missed with the glue. You can either cut it off or you can either paste it on. So I seen a little piece and I was like, let me just cut this piece off because I just didn't like it. It wasn't that much though. It was cool. So I'm just going to go back and I'm just going to check for all the areas. You just want to make sure that every area is glued down. And if you see an area that needs glue, y'all make sure that when you pick up that glue and you put the glue in the area, you want to make sure that you're not using a lot of glue. You do not want to squeeze that glue hard. You want to squeeze it soft. So make sure that you squeezing it soft and then you're using the glue tip to smooth it out. So you want to squeeze a little bit and then you want to stop squeezing and just use the tip and just rub it in. Because you just don't want to be here all day with this. So you want it to be dry quick. So you don't want to use a lot. A lot makes longer drying. You don't want to use a lot. So right now we just doing the middle part. So she wanted the middle part bust down. So I said, okay, girl, I got you. So you just want to make sure that's in the middle, not in the side middle, not in the part middle, not in the back of the middle, but just the middle. So as you're doing that middle part or whatever style that they're requesting, you want to just part your baby hair out too. So we're going to part her side baby hairs, her middle part, and the edges of her hair. So we just prepping the style. We just prepping. We preparing for a miracle. So, I had to make sure it was in the middle. So I was combing it. I had to get in front of her like, child, we don't need no mistakes. We need that thing in the middle. So you're gonna use the pressing comb. So we pressing in the direction we need the hair to be. So we need the hair to be laid back. So we want that hair that's not baby hair to be laid back because we need that scalp look. So if we don't get that scalpiana look, it ain't going to look too great. And we going to push that baby hair to the front too with the press comb. But we going to for sure lay the back part that has nothing to do with the baby hair to the scalp. So remember, whatever you wax, you press. So whatever looks bulky, you put waxing on it and you press it. And you make sure do you hear me? make sure that it's flat. Like if you gotta go through that thing a million times like me, you see I went through that same part like 6 times. You gotta make sure it's flat. But I pretty much can tell y'all that if you put that wax on that hair and you press it, it's gonna be flat, y'all. It's gonna be flat. I'll never lead y'all wrong. So I'm just making sure that our part, child, wearing a dress wasn't a good idea with these shorts, child. It was just doing a lot for me. We're gonna wear jeans next time. Okay, so I'm just pre, child, you know I'm tired. I'm just prepping this side now. So pulling the baby hairs out for this side, the sideburns, the baby hair. And you just want to make sure that it's just enough. And y'all, like, you want to make sure it's neat. Like, you want to make sure that your work is neat. Whatever you do, you make sure that work is neat. And make sure them parts is correct. You just want to make sure that all the hair is going in the direction that you want it to go. So remember, y'all, whatever you wax, you press. So whatever you want to press, you got to put wax on it and you press. Child, my wax was going out, but it was something in there though. So, oh child, I don't know what we was talking about, child. We was in there talking. Ooh, look how this side look. It already look good. It look like Scapiana. Okay, so we are pressing it back. So the same thing we did to this side is what we pretty much doing in that side because she wanted the middle part. So we just making sure that everything is how it's supposed to be. And everything is everything. We don't want no problems now. So again, press the hair back for a Scapiana look. Press that middle part down and make sure that that baby hair is coming forward. So elastic bands are important, child. So make sure you got an elastic band, y'all. So I sprayed it got to be glued on the edges. So basically where the part is, I sprayed it got to be glue hairspray and then I'll put the elastic band on. Y'all, make sure the elastic band is on tight. Now, elastic band is definitely the greatest thing that ever invented. Like, an elastic band on your lace is very much the best thing that could happen to you. I promise you. The best thing. So make sure you put that elastic band on before you do any styling. So it could just have the lace super melted, super flat, super down. Cause that's what we want. That's what we want. And you want to make sure that elastic band is on the lace of the edges and on that part at the same time. You don't want it too far back to where it's not on the edge because we need the front of the lace to be flat. So we just making sure. So we just pressing it back. Just an extra. Just doing extras. So now, like I have previously said. Oh, so y'all, I had to blow dry your child. So you know how I colored it, and I did basically like a soap wash color. So I colored it. And so like with the color and stuff and bleaching the knots, you know that hair was damp a little bit. We want to make sure that that hair is very dry because we do not want that press when we flat iron it to look as real staticky. That'll give us a shock. So now Now that it's dry, we want to go ahead and turn on that flat iron. So we just parting it, and we're going to speed this up because all we doing is flat iron that here. And I use a comb when I flat iron, and that flat iron was like the shit because she look good. Okay, girl. So I'm flat ironing it. And she basically bleached it at home, and I just kind of like did the color over for her. I didn't bleach it. I just put color over what she already did. And so that's pretty much a burgundy color. It was cute. It was cute. I was like, okay, girl, this is cute. So, um, this flat iron was pretty. So, okay, flat iron. So the flat iron I'm using is Baby Bliss, y'all. So y'all can get it from any beauty supply store. You can get it from Target. You can get it from Amazon. You can get it from anywhere. So you get it from Walmart. You can get that from anywhere. And remember, whatever you wax, you press. So we waxing and pressing. We making sure that that lace is flat. So when we get to the lace front part, you want to wax. You want to part it, wax, press. Part it, wax, press. Remember that. When, when, when. Okay. All right, y'all. You heard what I said. So we now we at the baby hair part. So we didn't took the elastic band out. Woo! It's blending in that skin, child. So now we just cutting the baby hair. So remember, with the baby hair, you want to make sure that you cut that baby hair right where the eyebrow started. But first things first, you want to use a mini flat iron. So the mini flat iron, you get that anywhere. You get that from your mama bathroom. You can get that from the beauty supply store, Amazon. You get that anywhere, child. So I'm just plugging in my mini flat irons because we need that. We need that on because we need that. The mini flat iron is very important because if you do not know how to do your baby hair, the mini flat iron will lead your way. So remember, we cutting the baby hair right above her eyebrows. Like right where that eyebrows start, that's where you want to cut that hair. And then the sideburns, you want to cut it at the bottom of the ear, but you want to cut it in a little slant. You want to cut it a little slant. You want to cut it slanting, but you want to cut it as long as the bottom of your ear. And you want to cut that baby hair on top of that eyebrow. You remember? Y'all remember what I said now. Y'all remember. So we're going to do this side so I can show y'all. So bam. This side just was like a little bit too much hair taken out for me. So I had to put some back. Because it was just like, that's too much hair taken out. And I just got to make sure sis looked the same on both sides. So I had to go over it a little bit. And so that's about it. So, yeah, I was just printing it out and I was just checking. And you just don't want your baby hair to be too thick. And you just don't want it to be too thin. Like, you want it to be in the middle. So, like, I'm just, like, combing it, making sure, like, envisioning it. And I'm just like, yeah, I need to take a little bit more to the back. And then I think that's ideal right here. Right here. That's ideal. So it's like, okay, cool. We into. So I had to repress it back. And remember, it was already waxed from in the beginning. So, The press will come do whatever the wax won't tell it to do. So that's why we love the wax and the press to come. Okay, so now we about to just cut that baby hair. So remember, you cut the baby hair on top. On top. So right where that eyebrows start on top, that's where you want to cut the baby hair. Right on top. And you want to always cut in an angle. So you want to staircase your baby hair. You do not want to cut it straight across. You want to cut it at an angle. Because you just want it to like lay properly. And then remember what I said about that sideburn? Yeah, we want to cut it below that ear. So right at the end of that ear, when that ear stops, that's where that hair get cut now. So we want to cut that at an angle also. So we cutting it at an angle. And so I'm just combing it because I need to make sure that that part is how I want to. Because, I didn't tamper with this side a little bit. And I just need this side to be correctly done because it was too thick at first. And we can't have that. So just making sure that everything is right. So I use the Got To Be Glue gel. So I use the black one. So the black one doesn't have like residue after a while. I know the yellow one has like a white residue. So I don't use the yellow one for the edges. I use the black one. Woo! Them elbows is ashy. I hate that for me. Why I'm on camera like this? Oh, nah. But we gonna deal with the elbows later. Right now, we doing that baby hair. So we curling that baby hair, and we making sure that baby hair is curled. So when you curl the baby hair, you wanna curl it real tight. The tightest it can be, because it's not that much hair, so it's only gonna go. You know that little tight curl from back in the day that Granny used to do on your hair? We want to curl it that tight. Because that's all it's going to do is have that tight. So we want to curl it like that. And she was looking like, girl, you better not. And I'm like, I got you, sis. I'm not. So I'm getting my edge brush. So I use the comb part of the edge brush. I don't use the brush part. So that's how your edges should look. So I got a little closer. So y'all, while I was recording this, I was in the way. So I was like, let me just speed it up. So this is how the edges should look after you done swoop it. I mean, wow, like she look good already. It's giving Scapiana. And it's lit. Like, it's lit. I'm doing her side. So listen, about the sideburns, you want them sideburns to swoop. So like, you want it to be like a intense comma. That's how you want your sideburns to be. You want it to be a comma, okay? And if you could circle it, have it going all in the circle motion, do that too. So I was just trying to make sure. And then, like, after you do your baby hair, remember, we want the part we push back, we want that part to be scapiana. So we're going to take some of the gel and we're going to push it back on the scalp part too, because we just want everything to be scalpy. Ooh, child, look out. Ooh, she look good. Okay, Janae, I did that. Okay, so I'm just making sure that them sideburns is laid right. So she won't have no problems later, child. So I'm just fixing the sideburns. 21, can you do something for me? 21, 20. I'm just playing. No, but I'm just making sure that them edges is laid, because we need them edges laid. Oh, y'all, that look good, y'all. So now I can show y'all. So I'm going to get some more gel because I needed some more gel because I didn't use all the gel on the other side, y'all. So now I can show y'all. So pretty much you want your frontal to be clean. So if you see any like flyaway hair, make sure like you are snatching it off or you making sure that it's going with the baby hair. And you kind of like just put the gel on the comb and you just want to swoop your baby hair in a circle motion and you just want to swoop it to the hair. And you just want to make sure that you do it in the most natural state as possible. And that's why curling it is important, because if you curl your baby hair, it's going to go in a circle motion on its own. So you pretty much don't have to do too much of hard work. And remember, we want to push that hair that's going to the back because we want the scalp beyond the look, because we need her to look like this is her hair. Her mama made her like this, okay? So we need that hair to go back and we need that baby hair to swoop forward. And this is what we need. We need this for us. And remember, like, you want a clean look. So you just want to make sure that all the flyaway hairs is like either pulled off or in place, because we just don't want any like mistakes or any mess. So we pushing it to the back. So now we doing her sideburns. So like I said, the sideburns pretty much is going to be a big comma. And because you curled it, the sideburns is going to go into a comma naturally. So you just want to just like paste it down with the gel. Just make sure that it's going to stick and she ain't going to have no problems later. And ooh, that look good. Ooh, so I seen like a little string, and I had to cut it because I gotta make sure that this look good. So I'm just making sure that them sideburns is in commas or it's in the decimal. So, woo, that looked like scalp. She looked good already. And I'm just like going over it with the comb, like making sure that all her hair is like neat. And you just want to use a blow dryer to dry off her edges, because remember, we used that gel, so it was kind of wet. Oh, that look good, girl. You look good. Who did that? Where you go? And I'm just going to use the holding spray because I just want to make sure that ain't no flyaways at the top of her hair either. So I'm just spraying it down and using my hand and pushing. Woo! That look good. And I'm just brushing it, you know. Okay. Okay, girl. Yeah, you look good. So that ends my tutorial, y'all. This is a frontal wig install. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.